Peace and love. What's going on, family? Hope everybody's well, everybody's safe. Sunday, relaxed day. You already know, man. But I want to talk to you about something, man. On the regular, I have been asked just one question. But today, two other people asked me the same thing, and I decided that I should speak about it. So they asked me why every time my topics is dealing with prison reform, anything that has to do with prison, why do I always talk about that? So my question to them is, have you been ever in prison? When they tell me no, my response is, then you will never, ever understand. Why you will never understand? So I start to break down to them why they will never understand. See, they will never understand that the Department of Correction is supposed to be a department where they correct brothers and sisters coming in. So when they come out, they are able to come out and transform into positive, doing things right and stuff like that. So I tell them that it's not the way they think, Department of Corrections. It's actually the Department of Corruptions. And why do I say that? And they look at me when I say that. So I start to explain. When I was in a certain facility, the officer was stabbed with a crochet needle from the back, and the snitches said that I did it. IG came down, whatever, but before the IG came down to see me, they did a red dot. Red dot means that they pull their button out and they got to call reinforcement, other officers to come down and assist whatever officer put this red dot. So when they get there, they don't bother to investigate what happened. They just know that they running over there to a red dot is a problem. Not investigating when they get there to see what the problem is. So as soon as they get there and the officer points at me, it's my first beat down. From the correction officers, my first beat down, correction officers. When they put me into the van to take me into SHU, it's my second beat down. When I get to the SHU, which is Special Housing Unit, the box, they beat me up again as they brought me in all the way to the room where they take off all my clothes, butt naked. As I'm butt naked, they know I have no defense into, protecting my body. And they start to kick me, to punch me, and stuff like that. This is the Department of Corrections, correction officers. This is why I call it the Department of Corruptions and not corrections, because they're not there to correct anything. They're there to abuse you and do things to you that they're not really supposed to be doing according to the law. So I continue to explain that after those beatdowns, while I'm in the box, the officer just go by and don't feed me. It was 2 weeks that they didn't feed me. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 2 weeks. Now you guys say this guy's bullshitting. And other guys that's been there in my situation, they know better. They know I speak truth because they know this is facts. So 2 weeks I don't eat. The morning officer, which is the morning and half a day officer, tells the night officer when they change the shift what the situation is. So they already got me as an assault to police. So the other shift know not to feed me as well and not to give me any showers. So they come by and don't feed me. You know who fed me? All the brothers surrounding. And by the way, the box is all locked in. You can't, there's no opening of nothing. There's no bars, just closed in. So what brothers do is that they rip the sheets up from their sheets. And what they do is they tie some sheets up with an empty toothpaste. And because we got a small little slot this open underneath the door, what they do is they slide over towards the wall, that line. It's called a fishing line. And that fishing line there, what I'll do is I'll throw my fishing line, tangle it to that, pull it back, and I'm able to pull back the food that they saved me. A brother saved me some bread. Another brother saved me some beans. Whatever was saved, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner that they saved for me that was able to fit through that door. That's how I ate. That's how I maintain myself, because the brothers took care of me. This is, y'all, I'm talking about real brothers when they had real brothers in the prison system. Now you got dudes that don't give a fuck if you starving or not. They just talking about, yo, I'm minding my business. Then they don't know the struggle about prison, or that we got to stick together. You know, one. So how did I get up out of there from the Department of Corrections? I got out of there because, and this is another thing, before I get there, they tend to tell you when you go in there, you better not speak to the superintendent, deputy security, nobody that come through here you speak to. Because if you do, we're going to beat you up. You're getting a beat down. So it happened to me, man, that because I was starving, you know, I wasn't really eating, I had the nerve that when the superintendent came by, yes, I stood in that gate. Yes, I had the balls to do it. When the superintendent came by, I said, yeah, can I speak to you for a minute? The officer behind him is giving that face like, yo, what the fuck you doing? Are you crazy? What? You bugging out? You going to see you after this, after you leave. I didn't even care about that no more, man. So I told the superintendent, I said, listen, man, that letter that I sent you the other day, I don't know if you remember the letter I sent you. It was bullshit. I'm just playing. But here got a response to that letter that you told me to respond back to you. And I passed him the letter. He happened, thank God, to open the slot, took the letter, and disappeared. Once he left out the box, I hear my next door neighbor cell crack. All I hear is screams. He's screaming like crazy over there. And I wonder what the fuck is going on that my neighbor's screaming. Police was in there, between 4 to 5 SHU police officers was in there beating him up. So now I get to find out what happened. After they beat him up, they locked the door, came to my cell door, opened it up and told me. He said, your neighbor just caught the beating for you because of that superintendent shit you did. Now that's crazy. Now, you know, I felt so bad, and I wish I knew where my, you know, who my neighbor is in this day now. You know, I know him then, not too much, because you can't talk in a box too much when you in them small little boxes. But I like to tell him to forgive me for that. You know, and if he was a real dude, he would have told me, don't even ask for forgiveness for this. This is what we do. You know, we got to take it for each other. But, you know, he took it for me. So that's one situation that I'm explaining to these people. So these people that never been in prison say, nah, not correction officers, not police officers. They don't do that type of stuff. So I continue. I continue to tell them Unit 14, the Clinton box. They handcuff you from the back to go to SHU, and they kick you down there in them steps. That's one. I started that story. Nah, not the Department of Corrections doing that. Auburn, when you over there in the intake, you see the elevator going up, taking somebody to SHU, all the way up from the flats, all the way up to the SHU. You can see from the tears, brothers getting beat up all the way to SHU. You know, when I got to Southport, for that first incident that they said I assaulted the police, stabbed them with a crochet needle from the back. Over there, of course, the police, you know, because they keep going. The police over there didn't want to feed me either. They started that bullshit of not feeding me and stuff like that. And these are things that happen that people don't believe. People don't believe. They've never been in that situation. Those that have been there know. What about the times that you go on draft on a bus, and now they don't want you to talk, and they want peace and quiet. They want to sleep during the ride. The correction officers, so they tell you be quiet. So they get so tired of telling you be quiet because, you know, we got to talk. We ought to be humans, man. We got to conversate. Long rides. You know, from New York, wherever you going to Clinton, that's an 8-hour ride. Because, you know, it's really a 4-hour ride. They just make it an 8-hour ride because they take you in circles to kill that overtime for that money. So then they come and tell you this. If you don't shut the fuck up, by the time you get there, you ain't going to have no property. So look what happens. You get up there, and you wonder why the third day, they ain't call you for your property. Your 4 bags are missing. And you saying to yourself, man, those are letters from my mother that passed away that I saved. Or my son that passed away that I saved. Or my father, my grandmother. Or